Tell me a little bit about kind of you and your son getting back in the fitness stuff and like your son finding David Goggins and all that stuff. Because I it's hilarious. And his book, I think Taryn listened to his audiobook when she ran the marathon or does her training, because it's just,
if it doesn't give you goosebumps, I don't know that you have a pulse. He's always been active in sports, and he gets an ab if he misses a meal, because he's skin and bones. His older sister, my oldest, she's been a soccer player, or football, to use your parlance. She's been in shape basically since 7 or 8 years old, and kind of got to the point they were looking through some old pictures, and Jake had kind of looked at me and then looked, at the picture, and kind of had this look on his eyes, and he actually said it, like, "Dad, what happened? Like, you look different," which
stung a little bit,
hurt immensely. And it's a thyroid issue, son. It's not a thyroid issue. I just explained that, not as young as I used to be, and kids, and sitting in an office, and had no willpower when it came to eating. And that was just, that, and just being 45. I mean, I think this is the existential midlife crisis. I grew the hair out, and that's, the one thing that I had going for me is all my buddies don't have hair.
Right.
They may have abs, but
you have a full head of hair.
I have hair. Yeah. And we sat down and talked one night, and I discussed it in the past with him, like, I need to do something. I got to do this. And the hypocrisy, because I coached both the kids, football, baseball, soccer, world's worst soccer coach, by the way. Far worse than Ted Lasso. Far worse.
I don't know how you can coach kids, because that's probably harder than your actual job.
There are very few things that I've enjoyed more, because, a lot of times, I don't know if it's a forest for the trees, or if we just all, think our parents are ignorant. But our own kids don't always listen to us so well. But when you see somebody else's kid and you see them actually do something that you have, trained on, practiced on, drilled into their head, there aren't many cooler things in the world. And just, being around kids like that, and the excitement they have, and those first several years, kids don't care if they win or lose. That's mom and dad that's,
which
putting
is
all
an
those
issue.
thoughts.
100%. Big issue.
100%. And it's just, I always enjoyed coaching kids. They have that joy and exuberance, and they just, there's
fun.
Nothing in the periphery. It's just, let's have fun right here in the moment. And it's something that somehow we as adults lose sight on. And man, if we could bottle that, this world would be a far, far greater place than it already is.
Definitely. Yeah. So kid gets you back into, the son thinks, Dad, what happened? And then you're like, oh, I got to do something about this.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah. I'd also gone to the doctor, in January, kind of had a recent job change. I'm still within Chicago title, but came back to sales from being a closer. And thought,
best decision you've ever made.
I could not possibly tell you. And don't get me wrong, I loved the job, but I don't know that the male brain is built to handle all of that stress and the
capacity of it.
The table was great. Sitting there with buyers and sellers and their agents, that was fantastic, because they had to sit here and listen to my terrible jokes. Like they couldn't go anywhere. It was the rest of it, and the demands from 70 different people per file. I'm a little bit like an over-caffeinated squirrel on a calm day anyhow, and so this is much more my speed. Got that "you're not young anymore" speech from the doctor, and also Joe Rogan's not a doctor. You should listen to me and not him. And I thought, I need to change some things.
You were eating steak every day?
I was
on a carnivore diet?
Just mainlining elk marrow, and just thought, it's time for a change. And if I don't do it now, it's not going to get easier. I can always have an excuse. And then moderation is not something I do well. And so, about May of this year, we just kind of went full bore. And, 7 days a week, and going to some high intensity interval training classes that my daughter refers to as man yoga. Running, which is awful, by the way. I don't know if you do it, but you shouldn't.
I mean, I do sometimes.
It's terrible.
I have done a marathon. I have. Yeah.
People with that kind of self-discipline and mental strength really impress me.